recording this video to give you a few ideas and hints relative to your homework. And the first thing to point out to you is simply that you really need to read the question carefully. The question here is for the given information, the labor productivity per hour for each week. Now the key there is each week. So you notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, which indicates, even though there's just one box here, that you're going to have to come up with 5 answers. Now let's take a look at what kind of tools are available to help you with this. The most important thing I'd like to acquaint you with is this set of icons on the left side of the screen. First of all, this one right here, as you can see, is noted as e-text pages. If you click on that link, which I'm doing right now, what it does is it opens another window and takes you right to the page where the topic that is being challenged in the homework is presented in the text. So we're talking about productivity improvement and productivity measurement. In general, as this says, productivity is output divided by input. But then as you read further on down, it'll become more specific and give you a specific example. With your homework in this particular case, you're going to be looking at 2 different types of labor productivity, and those 2 types are displayed in the example here, the basic labor productivity and the multi-factor productivity. So that's clue number 1, is you're in the homework, can't quite remember what it said when you read through the chapter. You can click on that link and it'll take you right to that point in the e-text. Now the other things that you can see on these icons are the 1, 2, 3, which is help me solve this. It actually will give you some step-by-step directions. Now this is a very simple, very basic problem, so if we click on it, it's not going to really do too much for you other than present it in a way that shows you how to compute it. It's just simply saying that the way to compute your answers is divide the number of shirts by the number of hours to come up with shirts per hour. And so you can actually go through and do the calculations that way. When we get further on into the course, it's going to be much more challenging, and these tools will give you a lot more help. So that's the help me solve this icon. The second icon over here is very similar to it. It just simply is view an example. So in this particular case, it's the same type of problem being presented. Gives you data, and by the way, the data given here is always going to be different than the data that you have in your problem, but it will show you exactly how you do the calculation, going through dividing the hours into the number of shirts that are provided. Here is the formula, the output divided by the input. So that is that help. These 2 helps really are a heck of a lot better than this one right here, which is ask my instructor. If you get stuck and you can't really figure things out, you can click on that link and it'll send me you can describe to me the problem that you're having, and it'll send me a link to your actual problem, and I can give some help to you. But you're far better off to spend your time with the help me solve this and the view an example icons. So in addition to those icons, you have a calculator to just help you do it right on the spot, and then of course you have a printer so that you can print out a copy of it when you've done it. So what you would do then for this one, just for an example, is the first problem here would be to compute week number 1. Now if we just bring up the calculator, we know the formula is the output divided by the input. So the output is 69 shirts, so we can key that in, and then we're going to divide that by the input, which is the total hours of 22, and we come up with 3.136 and a whole bunch of other decimals. Now again, reading the instructions, we're going to do it the calculation for each week, and then we're going to round to 2 decimal places. So if we do that, you can see that 3.136 would round to 3.14. So if we key that in, and then down below here we click check answer, it's going to say you're wonderful, you did a great job with that. So that's how you do it. Now another thing I'd like to point out before leaving the screen is this little icon right here. This gives you the opportunity to create a data set in a buffer that you can copy and paste into a spreadsheet. So those of you who know spreadsheets realize that, yeah, you can do the math quite easily manually, but you can also copy this, and what you can see is happening here. Your table has been copied and is ready to be pasted into Excel or other spreadsheet applications. So if we bring up an Excel spreadsheet and we just do a paste, you can see that the data is there. It's not in exactly the same format. The table is inverted, but you can see you've got week 1 through 5. You've got the number of shirts, the number of hours, and all you'd have to do here is just create a formula to do the math, and then copy that formula across here, and voila, you're going to have all of the answers that you can just then take back into the problem. So that is really about all you need to know to get you started. Again, this is a really pretty simple couple of problems you have to get your feet wet with it, get you started, and as we get further into the course it will get more challenging, but again, you've got the tools here to help you solve this. View an example. If all else fails, ask my instructor. And again, if you have this icon above a data set like here, you click to copy the table and paste it into a spreadsheet and do your magic with the spreadsheet. Just a couple final comments before we conclude this video. I did mention that the indication here, if you read the directions carefully, is that you're going to have to provide 5 answers to the problem. Another way of determining where you stand is this area down in the lower left-hand part of the screen, where it indicates that there are 4 parts remaining, meaning you complete this one and then there are 4 more remaining. And then up at the top here you see for the second problem, if we switch to that, the indication is that there are 7 parts remaining, indicating, of course, there's 1 here and an additional 7. So you've got 8 computations in total you need to do. So that's another clue for you. Now back to the first problem. Notice that I brought up a new set of numbers and data here. And I wanted to make you aware of the fact that I've set up the homework to be very forgiving and very flexible for you. But there are a couple of things that you need to know about the way that MyOMLab works with things. Now, in previous work that we did, we actually computed a correct answer and we saw the result. But what if we put it in wrong? Let's just guess that this first computation is 2. And so we check answer and it tells us, okay, that's not correct. And then it gives us some hints that your productivity is determined by dividing your output by your input, and then some additional information. So that's attempt number 1. We got it wrong, but it'll give us another shot at it. So let's just take another guess at it. Let's try 3 this time and check answer. Once again, wrong answer, and it gives you a similar kind of a prompt. So that's that. Now we do get a third attempt. Let's try the number 4 and see how that works out. Well, that's not correct either. But notice what happened with the system at this point. It tells us that our answer is not correct, and it gives us the correct answer. And so we're done with that portion of the problem. We're not going to be given another shot at it. So we really have 3 chances to get the answer correct, and if we don't get it on the third attempt, we'll be given the correct answer, and then the system will move on. You notice that the second box is visible now. So that's the way it works. Now, the way I've set it up is that if you're not satisfied with having any incorrect answers, you may just start it over again. And you can do the homework as many times as you want during the week that particular homework is assigned. And you will have the ability to do it over and over again, and the system will automatically select your best score to report in the grade book. So that's just another aspect of the homework that you need to be aware of. The fact that you can repeat it as many times as you want, but within a given problem you will be restricted to just 3 total attempts, and if the third attempt is wrong, you will be locked out of re-entering that same answer. So hopefully this will help you get off to a good start with this. Good luck, and again, let me know if I can be of any help.